Okay, so there are some examples of some good shapeshifters, and this is, I want you to look into the Four Agreements. That guy, the guy that does the Four Agreements, the culture that he expresses has these kinds of shapeshifters in them, and they are very in tune with the animal world. That's why I have such a hard time with, like, I just recently heard that in the Muslim faith that they don't, they believe, it makes me stutter to even say it, like it's like this crazy, just I don't know, that they don't believe angels are allowed, or can come in when there's a dog around. And I actually think dogs are angels. Actually, I think that all beings have a demon and an angel, and even the demons can be fucking angelic sometimes in certain situations, and vice versa. The angels can be demonic, because it's very contextual and very, like, it has to do. Now this is a little bit off point, but okay, you hear a lot of people talking about like vibrating, and being at like certain energetic levels, like, you're bringing my energy down, da 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 da. Now, there's a Buddha, a female Buddha called Guan Yin, and Guan Yin is a Buddha of compassion, and she basically, like, in short, from my understanding, had a throne in heaven, was invited to be with the gods, and she said, I'm going to stay back and I'm going to help liberate the people, because if there's one person not liberated, then none of us are. And with that said, she was able to kind of, I think of her when I think of people talking about getting out of certain situations. Now, it is good to get out of a bad situation. Whatever it is, it's good to get out of a bad situation. It is not good to look at others in a bad situation and demean them and demonize them, because it is fucking hard to get out of a fucking bad situation. And sometimes it's like it should be easy because all the bad signs are there. It's like 1 + 1 = 2, time to go. But for some reason, it's like when we're in it, we're our own blind spot, and it's really hard to see it. Now, if you're such an evolved, this is where I get kind of like, if you're such an evolved being, it doesn't matter if you're vibrating with demons or if you're vibrating with angels. If you're that condensed, you're going to break through your energy is going to break up whatever is going on. And I've seen this when I was young. Once I was in the woods at a party and a fight broke out, and I started singing. I jumped on stage and started singing, and the fight stopped. It all stopped, and that stuff is fucking real. I've heard this from another woman too. She told me in instances of domestic abuse and domestic violence, a young girl, her father was going after her mother, and she started singing A, B, twinkle, twinkle, some kind of childhood song, and it stunted the man long enough to get the mother out from under the bed and pull her out and run out of the house. Because these songs, they do something when somebody's in a violent state. They aren't even aware of it. Like when somebody has been taken over by any emotion, even love. If you've fallen in love, you become the emotion. And so when somebody's in a violent state, one way to snap the violence out of itself is to bring in like that calming childhood melody, and it it kind of like talks to that part of that person's subconscious that still is kind of childlike, and that like understands like not to use violence, I guess. But and that's just the beginning. I mean, there's theories about how you can use sound. I mean, this is nothing new. Like using mantras for medicine, instead of having to the thing is that using mantras, for example, is like takes fucking effort. You have to sit there and you have to say the mantras. You have to say them the right amount of times, the right ways, and you have to put some work for it. And like, for some reason, we just all think, oh no, we'll just have to take our pill every day, and that way we don't have to do the work. You still have to do the work of elevating yourself and choosing to be like, okay, it's like a matter of acceptance of what is, and accepting what you won't do as well. It's accepting, what you can and cannot control, or trying to be aware of it. So yeah, I'm starting to lose my train of thought, but I'm not really, I can't even really remember where I began, but it is something to keep in mind. Like when we hear ourselves and each other talking about the vibrational shifts, it's totally about awareness. It's just a matter of awareness, and I don't mean to it's like very serious, but it's also very serious that we don't take ourselves too seriously, because you can't make somebody be aware. You can't make yourself be aware of something that you just can't be aware of. It's just how it is, and you come into your knowing when you're ready. And to be mad at somebody for not being aware or ready is silly, is inappropriate, and I think we put too much pressure on ourselves to be and do things that really like are only for like cheap thrills. Sometimes it's good to have some cheap thrills, but sometimes it's like it's really very fleeting and petty moments that it's not there's something still fake about it. So yeah, I hope that whoever listens to this, that there's been something in this that's been of significance or helpful, because I don't even remember what I started out talking about. But